Hello everyone and now welcome to a game between Chaemiko versus Sok. This game taking place here on Last Refuge. It's probably hard to micro it's probably harder to micro kids than Warcraft 3. Yes, that is definitely the case. But let's take a look at this game first. Sok versus Chaemiko, a human versus human mirror match taking place here on Last Refuge. It has been said in years past that mirror matches are just not that interesting because well, there doesn't seem to be that many different styles of play. I actually have to start to disagree about the human mirror match. In years past, it was always about, it was always like spellbreakers versus spellbreakers. If you went into knights, the advantage of knights wasn't that big enough over spellbreakers, as your opponent could easily just transition into griffins. With the addition of sundering blades now on those knights, it makes spellbreakers a little bit weaker, as that sudden appearance of that first knight does make a bigger difference. Are you parenting in Reforged graphics or classic? Um, I don't know. Everything looks ugly sometimes in the household, so I would say Reforged graphics. Anyways, I'm going back to going back to my micro thought. It's easier. What is easier to a micro Warcraft 3 or kids? I would say it is easier. Like trying to micro kids is like playing a game of Warcraft 3 with 3,000 ping. You tell your unit to do something, and you don't know if or when they're ever gonna do it. Despell. Anyways, Footman now gonna wait and pull some aggro back from those other sides here, and the Footman does not get hit by a boulder. Gonna pull away the units. The Forest Troll High Priest is gonna be left behind, as we're looking at, well, that gonna go ahead and get finished up here. Archmage. Militia now being brought back over. Water Elemental in position to tank a little bit of damage, as well as we see Inner Fire on that Forest Troll High Priest, making it, well, prolonging its life for just a little bit. Water Elemental now going to back away, no longer tanking the damage, and this is some beautiful micro from Chaemiko, making sure to get every ounce of usefulness out of these Water Elementals. A 32 hit point Water Elemental does as much damage as a 500 hit point Water Elemental, spreading out the hit points between the two right there. Tomb of Intelligence picked up as the first Water Elemental nearly done. Both sides, Sok doing a great job as well, pretty much doing the same exact thing. And well, it's those small things that start to add up and make a very big difference. Low hit point Water Elemental, however, its timed life was already nearing an end as well. And this is some beautiful, beautiful micro coming in from both Sok and Chaemiko in this human mirror match. Frodo's parenting insights are gold. Yeah. It's like, I know I clicked there. I know I told you to move. Why aren't you moving? Archmage now making its way back around. Ogre Magi going to easily get taken down. No additional water elementals, as well. Chaemiko waiting for level 3. Meanwhile, coming back on the other side here, Sok going to open up with the water elemental, who is going to absorb a little bit of damage before it gets taken down, since its timed life was nearly done. Coming back around, we are seeing Forest Troll Trappers getting finished off, and both Chaemiko and Sok clearing things up, doing a little bit of scouting on the other side, and perhaps, yes, expansions are on both sides here. Archmage sitting at level 3 does have double circlets of nobility, true thought aura, and now wand of illusion to do a little bit of scouting. Sok is setting up an expansion of his own, setting up that arcane or scout tower first, as Chaemiko doing a bunch of builds as well. Archmage, Forest Troll, Shadow Priest going to be fighting in the center. Well, pretty much the same exact thing. Double Forest Troll, Shadow Priest, and, well, oh, illusions. Beautiful use of the illusion right there. Is it going to get dispelled? There comes some damage here. There's an illusion, wasting the abolished magic from one of Sok's Forest Troll, Shadow Priest. But, well, Sok actually had enough insight to get two earlier on, and now the Forest Troll Shadow Priest able to, well, dissolve one of those water elementals fairly fast. Well, Footman now with the Defend, able to rack up a bit of damage, but another water elemental gets taken down. Sok actually a little bit behind in terms of the overall experience race. Chaemiko a little bit ahead there, but the Force Troll Shadow Priest, if they fall, and a bunch of low hit point footmen could turn things around here. Sock also with the Fen representing a much bigger threat, as the Force Troll Shadow Priest, Force Troll, no Force Troll Berserker, the Water Elementals not able to do nearly as much damage. All right, Force Troll Shadow Priest, Force Trolls Berserkers are now getting added in here. Militia now being called back over as the Archmage looks to run away. Archmage does have a Sobi Mask. Sock does have more mana here. Meanwhile, True Shot Aura and Circlet of Nobility, meaning more damage for the Water Elementals and these other units again. All right, is he going to fall for the same trick twice? That is the question. Trying to get in damage once more. Footman trying to back away. And are they going to see some Abolish Magics right there? There you are. No, Chaemiko. Sock not falling for the trick of Abolish Magic onto the illusion, as well goes straight for the correct target. Sock now sitting at level 4 Sobi Mask and level 2 Water Elementals, or level 2 Brilliance Aura means much more mana for that Archmage. Should be able to drop down plenty throughout this time. Force Troll Shadow Priest also going to benefit from having more mana, meaning more Abolish Magic onto those Water Elementals too. As the Archmage hangs back at home, trying to get up that Arcane Vault. No tech to tier 2 coming in from Chaemiko or Sock at this stage. Both sides still staying at tier 1, setting up Arcane Vaults and trying to time when they go to tier 2 very, very carefully. If you excuse me, if you rush to tier 2, you often find yourself in a little bit of a disadvantage, as your opponent, if they are just trying to mass up units, especially from the Mercenary camp, getting these additional Force Troll Shadow Priests and these Force Troll Berserkers, you may end up actually being behind in tech. Meanwhile, Force Troll Shadow Priest now trying to pull back here, the Mercenary camp representing a little bit of tech, allowing you to get heals is kind of what I mean here. Footman now trying to retreat back here. Low hit point units. Archmage of Chaemiko now gets up to level 4. And where are these units perhaps going to try and travel off to next? Footman doing a little bit of engagement. One of Chaemiko's footmen actually able to find a low hit point footman off to the north before the Arcane Vault was finished. This one footman tries to wander on into that base and quickly gets taken down, as we may see a little bit more Force Troll Shadow Priest, Force Troll Berserker, Footman, Water Elemental, Archmage action. All right, +7 damage on both sides here. True Shot Aura, Footman with Reflect or Defend, trying to reflect back some of that damage. Force Troll Berserkers trying to retreat back as well. As you can see, that Defend going on strong. Force Troll Shadow Priest trying to go up against the Footman, but that damage is getting reflected back as well. Lines are being drawn on both sides. Footman with Defend unable to chase all of those trolls. Meanwhile, Ogre Maulers are being thrown into the fight as well, as Sock has a bit of an advantage with the farm at that Mercenary camp. Sock, completely demolishes magic or abolishes magic right there, but loses one Force Troll Shadow Priest. Now going after the others. Force Troll Shadow Priests only have 240 hit points and can get taken down very, very quickly. Water Elemental, however, is starting to take a lot more damage than I would have expected, as that Archmage now down to 100 hit points and may need to back away. Sock, there goes another Water Elemental again, and that Archmage down to 97 hit points has to be very careful. Doesn't have Boots of Speed, or Chaemiko does not have Boots of Speed. However, Sock does, as the Footmen are now running along inside here. Archmage is starting to get pressured again. Level 5 now on the Archmage of Sock, as damage is now adding in. Scroll of Town Portal is going to be teleporting the Archmage back. Maybe, perhaps, no. None of the additional units there. None of the additional units here Force Troll them. Potion of Invulnerability dropped there. Beautiful Scroll of Regeneration. Panda now getting trained up, as Chaemiko could try and aggro some of these creeps over. What is he doing? Is he going to get stuck? Oh, he is going to get stuck. He must have thought it was nightfall. Now going to be forced to teleport back out. And, that might be a problem, as it is another Panda now joining in on this fight. With 2 Pandas out on the battlefield, it is because there was a heavy commitment in Footmen. Remember, I noted earlier, both players were in tier 1 much longer than I had expected, meaning that in order to keep their armies large, they needed to train up and hire more units from the Mercenary camp and train up more Footmen. Because of that, Pandas are straight out of the gate very, very powerful. Breath of Fire hitting multiple units, but their usefulness should be dropping, or their value should be dropping fairly fast over time as Spellbreakers are joining in on the fight here. All right, Forest Troll Berserker getting taken down by an Ogre Mauler there. Archmage of Sock trying to fight back against all of these footmen. A lot of damage here, still adding up. Level 5, as it looks like Sock does have a slight advantage in terms of experience as that Panda now heads back off to the north. This is still a crazy game all the way around. Forest Troll, Shadow Priest trying to head away. Where can it really run off to? That is the question. Unable to see up onto the high ground. Forest Troll, Shadow Priest gets taken down. Ogre Mauler makes sure that that Forest Troll, Shadow Priest is in fact dead.
Players' forces are under attack.
Yeah, true mirror match so far. Both sides opening up, doing very, very similar strategies, and it is really coming down to execution. Sock has the larger army right now. Sock also has a little bit more experience, but well, this game can still go any which way as Chaemiko is sitting on 600 more gold than his opponent. That could be the reason for the offset in army size. All right, tech to tier 3 is now already underway. We are going into a Griffin Aviary, dual Arcane Sanctums, and Priest are now getting trained up as well. So Chaemiko perhaps also looking to train up some Knights when the time comes, but he is currently low on lumber. Perhaps needs to get, yes, the improved lumber harvesting to try and get improve those lumber numbers. Panda now looking to back up here. Are we going to see a Breath of Fire? No Breath of Fire. Nope, 2 Breaths of Fire as the Water Elementals continuing to battle it through here. Footmen in that front line absorbing quite a bit of damage. Water Elementals still attacking them, even though some of that damage is getting reflected back as the Panda now gets up to level 2. Breath of Fire blowing over both of these armies. Again, 51 supply compared to 47. Sock is currently in low upkeep, 14 gold a second compared to 20, as Chaemiko is still trying to bank up more gold still. All right, Chaemiko could break into low upkeep fairly easily and quickly. I believe he is already at tier 3. Could start training up those Knights, some Griffins, and really have that home field advantage. That's what he really needs to do right now, using up some of his gold to train up and get that, well, use his tech advantage and his proximity close to home. Brewmaster down to 200 hit points. Staff of Sanctuary, I believe a Staff of Sanctuary, teleporting a low hit point Priest all the way back. Panda units are still trying to engage back and forth. Is the Brewmaster going to be able to finish off this Forest Troll Shadow Priest down to 40 hit points? One more strike or 2 more strikes should do it. Actually, no, 1 more strike could do it, but probably not the case, as the Panda simply just cannot catch up to that Forest Troll Shadow Priest, even though the movement speed is significantly faster for that Panda. Meanwhile, Archmage able to escape away with 56 hit points there, as the Water Elemental is now looking to back up. Paladin now out here on the battlefield. Chaemiko sitting at 47 supply compared to Sock's 58. Panda in a little bit of trouble going back the other way. Is he going to try and use a Potion of Lesser Invulnerability? Knights are out here on the battlefield. There's a Holy Light with the save. There's a Holy Light going back the other way. And then now this is truly a mirror match indeed, as both sides have all three same heroes again. All right, Panda sitting at level 3 picks up a tome, not quite sure what, as the Paladin working overtime to bring, well, healing to all of these units. Archmage looking to back up here. Panda sitting at level 2, Paladin sitting at level 1. Both sides with their expansions. Upgrades are, well, Sock now going for 2-1 upgrades on those Spellbreakers and Knights. Meanwhile, we are looking at Chaemiko with, well, air upgrades. That's what it's looking like. Getting the armor upgrades for these Griffin Aviary units. Our militia, yep. Water Elementals continue to clear things up. Thank you, Cave Murph, for the follow Scroll of Town Portal. Now teleporting in. Are those Knights going to be able to back away? They are going to be able to back away. They are not going to be trapped, which is a big deal indeed. Meanwhile, the Panda comes in and gets a big Drunken Haze, Breath of Fire, as Water Elementals are quickly dispelled since they were so tightly grouped together. Chaemiko doesn't want to continue to give more free experience. Meanwhile, well, I believe Chaemiko does also have healing wards. Could try and throw down a healing ward in the back here and try and hold on to this position. Inner Fire on a whole bunch of peasants, since his opponent, Sock, does have mastery on those priests, but it is just being stolen away by those Spellbreakers. All right, Inner Fire on peasants not going to amount to very much, but then again, there are no Knights out here on the battlefield, only Griffins, and those Griffins do not even have, animal war training as of yet. All right, fighting still underway. A bunch of inner fire right here. Arcane Tower trying to go after the water elemental here. Units going to try and engage. There goes one Force Scroll Shadow Priest quickly getting taken out. Peasants are done repairing as the ogre mauler finding itself on the wrong end of some storm hammers here. Water elemental could end up getting taken down at the hands of the Arcane Tower, not giving any experience. Both sides still battling up. Griffins are 1-1 upgraded. True Shot Aura level 2 now on the Paladin. Devotion Aura on both sides as the Pandas should be, well, Chaemiko could turn around. Breath of Fire across multiple units. Gets up to level 3. Now going to get the Breath of Fire off, but doesn't hit the lower hit point or the lower maximum hit point priests. Inner fire on those Griffin Riders. Big damage indeed, as the priests are going to be in a little bit of trouble as they are trailing in from behind. Staff of Sanctuary saving a priest right there. Meanwhile, the Griffins are trying to catch up to those targets and will be able to get a little bit right there. Water Elemental quickly going to get bursted down. Water Elemental very low or much slower movement speed, in addition to the fact that the Griffin Riders can in fact, or do in fact have magic damage, should be able to finish off those Water Elementals there, but instead going after the permanent units instead of going after the timed units. Experience, however, would be beneficial from that Water Elemental. 1 or 2 more shots. There it goes. Now Chaemiko coming back the other way with a 77 supply army, decent, and now level 3 Panda. All right, level 3 Panda on Sock, not yet quite there. Needs to get a Breath of Fire off, and once that Panda gets up to level 3, that will be a sudden power spike, as those Griffins are not going to be able to stay in the air that much longer. The question is going to be the timing, and there it is. Sock now with level 2 Breath of Fire should be able to start blowing over some of those units. Shackle from a Dragonhawk Rider, stopping the Griffin Rider in its tracks. Breath of Fire coming back across the other way. Staff of Sanctuary saves, I believe, the Griffin that was shackled moments ago, as the priest now trying to retreat back again. Holy Light coming back away, and this is a giant push and tug of war battle between two pretty much exact same armies. 1-2 upgrades going up against 2-1 upgrades here. The Griffin Riders having better armor upgrades than attack, as the Dragonhawk Riders are pushing in through here. Knights now in that front line. Sundering Blades, Breath of Fire coming back across. There's Shackle across multiple Griffins. That is going to be a problem, as there's only one Griffin online right now. Sock could have the perfect counter to all of these needs here, as the Knights are trying to back away once more. Sundering Blades, however, a healing ward getting a lot of heals there as the Shackles come undone. Not quite sure why the Shackles came undone. And now, well, level 6 on Sock's Archmage. So Sock suddenly gets to level 6 during this time, now having access to mass teleport, and may actually level or get closer to level up on that Paladin as well. That is going to be a big power spike for Sock, as Chaemiko did have a gold advantage in the bank, a larger army advantage, but it didn't translate well enough here. All right, Khadgar's Pipe of Insight, that will quickly be sold. A Brilliance Aura, not altogether that useful as when you already have a level 6 Archmage out here on the battlefield. Level 5, level 3, level 2, going up against level 6, level 3, and level 3. Paladin suddenly now with level 2 Holy Light, and that is another big power spike indeed. Now 400 hit point burst heals instead of 200. And, well, Sock looks like he's starting to take control of this game. Coming back through. Do attack upgrades and defense upgrades cancel each other out? It's comparable. So, the short answer is they're similar, but once you factor in healing, things get really complicated trying to figure out things. Archmage going to continue to battle it up there, taking down a one unit here. Dragonhawk Riders trying to back away. Fly Machines trying to use those flak cannons against the Dragonhawk Riders. We are going to be looking at a Scroll of Town Portal pulling away, and Sock is going to be able to teleport back 77 supply compared to 74. So if you look at it another way, Archmage, where is it teleporting to? Gonna head over to the Arcane Vault. If you look at essentially 1-1, 0-1 upgrades and 1-0 upgrades are pretty much similar. Differences start happening when you are looking at healing, right? When you're trying to heal damage, when you heal damage on a high armor unit, you are effectively healing, that is effectively more effective. Because it takes more damage for those 25 or 40 hit points to be removed from the higher armor unit than the low armor unit, right? 10 armor unit, it gets attacked for 25 damage, really only takes about like 17. I'm trying to do the math quickly in my head. 17, maybe 15 actually. And then well, the priest can completely heal all of that back up, or like a low hit point heal. So you can do the math, you can imagine it. As we're looking at Sok maybe losing his expansion here. All right, flak cannons on those against those Dragonhawk Riders. Dragonhawk Riders trying to back away. Sok 76 supply compared to Chaemiko's 79. Both sides are fighting it up here. Breath of Fire blows over many of those priests, and the higher level heroes are actually losing in terms of the expansion. However, another mass teleport down to the south here. This is a game and a race to try and see who can lose their bases faster, as both sides are just trying to move all over the place. Fly machines with, well, inner fire making it very difficult. Archmage using the Scroll of Town Portal in order to get away. And, well, expansion off to the north was lost. Meanwhile, one knight in the expansion here, and now going to go ahead and, well, Staff of Teleportation in from that panda. All right, for a second, I'm like, how is Sok mass teleporting to... So very confusing for a moment, but yeah, that makes sense. Panda using Staff of Teleportation to get there. I'm like, why isn't Chaemiko, or why isn't Sok using mass teleport to get to that knight? How is he using the blacksmith? All right, game is definitely kind of nuts. Flak cannons really working as the shackles on those Dragonhawk Riders keep them stationary and often keep them very clumped up together, making the flak cannons, well, just extremely effective. Fly machines now to trying to counter flying machines. We are looking at well, the upgrades are slightly higher for Sok, who has higher armor upgrades for his air units for his fly machines as well. So he may be able to come out ahead, but it is 2-0 versus 0-2, 1-1-0. 0-2 versus 1-0. So maybe the flying machines of Sok have the advantage, but then you have to counter in that inner fire that is across multiple units too. Paladin sitting at level 3 now for Chaemiko. Is the panda going to get to level 4? Yes, it does. Hood of Cunning now going to get picked up here as well. That's going to be a big item indeed, getting up to 400 mana, as Chaemiko is still very close to level 6. 6-4-3 going up against 5-4-3 as the fight at the expansions are going to be underway. Remember though, Breath of Fire already counters flying machines, so it just takes one well-placed Breath of Fire. And what is that? The Archmage got to level 6 somehow, and it's because of, well, the expansion of Sok. Chaemiko had a knight off over here, and it was taking down some of those units. Mass teleport coming back the other way, and here we are, double mass teleport battle. What is it going to matter? Flying machines, flak cannons, shackles going down, Griffins trying to fight, and this is a crazy battle indeed. Both sides just continuing to fight here. Healing ward in the back, providing additional health for Chaemiko at this stage, and the knights in that front line really absorbing quite a bit more damage than they should be able to. Inner fire, 12 armor even without armor upgrades, as the flying machines now trying to head off to the back here. Sok now with more flying machines coming out ahead. Chaemiko 65 supply compared to Sok 64. Both sides continuing this battle as militia coming over from, well, back home. All right, Archmage does have a Scroll of Town Portal. Both sides still fighting underway. A new healing ward is being placed down. Shackles onto the Griffin Rider. Griffin Rider going to get taken down here. Breath of Fire coming back across. 59 supply compared to 58, and it is still anyone's game here, as everyone is just pod committed in this fight to just continually stick around. Level 2 Devotion Aura now coming online here, as this expansion may end up getting taken down. A knight about to get taken down. It does get taken down as well. Chaemiko could end up losing losing a level 3 Water Elemental. Doesn't really care though, as the units are backing away. Chaemiko looks like he's going to come out ahead. 66 supply, 68 going up against 48. Sok is low on gold, only 2.5 minutes of mining left. However, Chaemiko has no mining at all. It really came down to the Water Elemental and that Knight, giving the Archmage level 6 and mass teleport to just drop in on that last expansion. Drunken Haze, Breath of Fire, multiple damage coming across all of those units. Meanwhile, units trying to back away here. Archmage continuing this battle again. not much gold. Is Sok going to be able to hold on? He is still mining for a little bit. There's no more gold for Chaemiko. Chaemiko has to throw everything he has here. 68 supply, continuing this fight here as the Paladin continuing to battle things up. All right, Griffins going after those frontline units, Spellbreakers, while trying to stay away from those Knights, and it looks like Sok is continuing to just try and fight this way through. We could be looking at a Staff of Sanctuary. Knight could be in trouble. Knight trying to dodge. Beautiful Staff of Sanctuary saving there as the Shackle now comes across here. Shackle going down on that last unit, and Chaemiko comes away with the victory. Sok unable to close the door on that game. Chaemiko getting to level 6 on the Archmage due to infinite experience range, and that was the tipping point right there. That counter movement that allowed the human army of Chaemiko to mass teleport into Sok's base, finish off some knights, and then well-placed healing wards items dropped right there. In all of that confusion, in all of that madness, was really just keeping Chaemiko's army, giving him a slight advantage, even though I believe Sok had an upgrade advantage there. Let me know what you guys thought about that game in the comments below, and you'll see me next time.